It's 2025, and if you're thinking to learn data science, I think there is no better time than now. 6 years ago, I decided to learn data science, and it took me about 6 months between the time when I actively started to learn and when I got my first job. Looking back, I think that things could have been done faster. There were some mistakes that I made. There were some things that I did very well. In this video, I'm going to take the time to explain how I will learn data science if I was to be doing that again in 2025. So let's go. The first thing I'm going to take the time to learn is Python. First, of course, you need a programming language. Of course, in today's world, there is a talk about either learning R or Python. But if you ask me, I would recommend that you learn Python. You see, in learning Python, what you specifically want to learn is how to use Python for data science. And that's very important to actually explain, because Python is a very vast programming language that is used, for example, for backend development, game development. And so you want to specifically learn Python to be able to use it for data science. Of course, you want to learn the fundamentals like lists, arrays, functions, while loops, for loops, variables, and the likes. But it's important to actually focus your attention on using Python for data science. Important that you learn important libraries like pandas to be able to deal with data frames in data science. You want to learn about NumPy. You want to learn about scikit-learn for machine learning. This is a very popular library. And then you probably want to learn about some libraries for visualizations as well, like Plotly, like Matplotlib, the very popular one. So really, you want to learn your Python in such a way that you master the important libraries and important concepts that would be very helpful for you to master data science. We've talked about a programming language. But of course, we know that data science is an intersection between mathematics, statistics, and software engineering. So mathematics comes in second. You really want to understand mathematics. Another important skill you need to learn is mathematics. If you're still in college and you're watching this, it's a perfect time, because I will recommend you that you do some sort of STEM degree. Why? Because it gives you an added advantage. I think that recruiters generally tend to be fair towards people who have a mathematics background when you're trying to get into data science, or a statistics background, or they have a STEM degree. If you, of course, don't, or you are past the point where you can change to a STEM degree, that's all fine. What you need to do is just to learn the basics. I recommend you to learn the basics like optimization, differentiation, gradient descent, that would help you to properly understand a lot of the machine learning models. Of course, if you're learning online or you're taking a physical bootcamp, I expect anyone who is teaching you about all of these machine learning models to actually tell you about the mathematics behind them, telling you also about the assumptions behind them. That way, you can really understand the concepts behind these models, so you are not just implementing them blindly. You can understand the fail points they have, and then of course be able to deal with them better. I also need to talk about statistics, because you will need that as well. You need to understand the measures of central tendency, like the mean, the median, the mode. You also want to understand concepts like outliers, percentiles, and all of those, because if you don't, then you most likely would also not be able to master some concepts in data science. Of course, for mathematics, you can use online platforms like Brilliant to learn a lot of the basics. And I think a lot of books that actually have intro to machine learning or intro to data science do a good justice in explaining to you a lot of the mathematical intuitions behind them. Next thing that is important that I will learn if I was starting data science in 2025 would be machine learning. Now, this one is very important if you want to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer. As a data scientist, you'll be responsible for building machine learning models. So understanding the whole machine learning pipeline and the process behind them is super important. With machine learning, you could either be building supervised learning, where you're learning from the past to predict the future, or you want to classify entries, or you could also be doing unsupervised learning, where you're asking your model to actually figure out what is the pattern in your data itself. I can recommend the Intro to Machine Learning and Intermediate Machine Learning courses on Kaggle. I think they are great and they are free, of course. If you want something that helps you better understand the processes a little bit more, you can also take the feature engineering model course on Kaggle, which is something that I also recommend because they are all free and they give you a good basis to start off. I also have a video here where I explain to you step by step how you can build your machine learning project. Basically the machine learning pipeline, where you start from, what you do next. Check out the video and I think it's going to be helpful for you. Lastly, I can also recommend the ML Zoom Camp course by Data Talks Club. It's one that I think is also well detailed enough. So you have a lot of choices, just choose one. The next thing I would be learning if I'm just starting out as a data scientist in 2025 will be deep learning. Deep learning is really in demand now. Understanding neural networks, LLMs, and not just traditional machine learning gives you an extra advantage. So you could also be applying for a lot of AI engineer roles that are in demand right now, or machine learning engineer roles as well. With deep learning, you learn a lot about dealing with data that are in the form of images, video, sound, and not just tabular data. Some topics that you would need to learn in deep learning would be neural networks, or feed-forward neural networks, convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, long short-term memory networks, transformer networks. Also learning some training techniques like backpropagation, batch normalization, or also understanding loss functions, optimization algorithms, also understanding, for example, architectures and models. Here you're talking about autoencoders, generative adversarial networks, variational autoencoders would also be another one you want to be thinking about or you want to learn. Some others are like reinforcement learning, which is also a very good one that is in demand and being really used right now. You want to learn about time series predictions, maybe for example using LSTMs. You want to learn about some frameworks and libraries like Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and the likes. For LLM, I also recommend that you take the LLM Zoom Camp by Data Talks Club. It's one that I've done myself and I really did enjoy it, and I can absolutely recommend it. The next thing I will be looking to learn if I was just starting out as a data scientist in 2025 would be to build projects. So here you should be looking to put together your portfolio, think about what projects are interesting to showcase your expertise. So we already started by talking about you learning how to use Python, learning mathematics, statistics, machine learning, deep learning. I think with projects is where they all come together. With projects, you're really just trying to sell yourself. You're trying to show, okay, this is what I can do. This is the coming together of my knowledge. And with that, you can show to a lot of companies and recruiters that you are really the guy they are looking for. One advice here would be that don't just build any kind of project. Don't just build projects that everybody's building. For example, everybody's building the Titanic data set, but it's no longer interesting because the code is out there. You could copy it, and imagine if you walk into an interview and everybody has done the Titanic data set, then it's no longer fun. But do something that you are interested in. In this video here, I shared about a lot of things you should watch out for and the kind of project you should not build if you're looking to get hired on a job. Check it out. Here, I can tell a quick story. When I started to build projects, I built a project called a shoe size predictor. What it does is to take the height of a man or a woman and then make a prediction about their shoe size. As funny as this project was, it was one of the projects that actually got me my first job. So I absolutely recommend everybody building projects. Of course, if you don't know how to get started, don't worry, I got you. I have a video here where I explain in detail how you should start with your data science project, taking the data and building something out of it. So I would recommend build projects, document them, push your codes to GitHub or GitLab, depending on wherever you want to keep your codes. And of course, with that, you can build a portfolio showcasing your data science skills. If you enjoyed this video, then you would enjoy the video on the screen where I shared about what exactly happened between the time where I started to learn data science and when I got my first job. And maybe you find some helpful tips in there for you as well. Check it out, and I'll see you soon. Bye.